All right, guys. Good evening.
Good to go.
Welcome back to RCA training, batch 5, I think. All right. So tonight, I'll start by explaining trying to explain myself. My name is Chidera. I'm also one of the clinical analysis teacher for RCA. And also, when it comes to risk management, I'm going to talk more briefly on risk management tonight. All right. So for tonight, you might not be able to catch up with technical analysis tonight, but I want to start with risk management, because when it comes to crypto or when it comes to investment, risk management is the actual key to success. If you're not able to manage your risk, you will achieve success and turn that success to failure. But if you are able to manage your risk, you will achieve that success and use that success to achieve more success. All right. So why do I actually need to talk about risk management instead of going straight to the point to technical analysis? All right, this is it. In crypto, since crypto has been well known as a very high volatile market, even can be manipulated by the whales out there, which is the people that has a bulk money or bulk investment on crypto. If you're not able to manage your risk, we're not able to use the risk management tips I'm going to give out tonight, you end up either from your beginning being crashed, or from your beginning you are able to achieve quick success and at the same time crash that success. So I will advise you guys tonight to get your pen and book and listen to the list I'm going to give. This list it also implies in both sports trading and future trading. All right. So let's start with how much you use for investments. All right. Now, our advice, number one, is set out 50% capital as a trust fund.
I don't have opinion.
Set out 50% capital as a trust fund. What does this mean? This is what I mean. All right. You know, crypto market opportunity always comes anytime. All right. And that you saw an opportunity doesn't mean that you should utilize it in full. So setting out 50% capital as a trust fund actually means that you should keep 50% capital, 50% of your overall capital aside that should never be touched. Let's say you came into the crypto industry with $1,000, all right, as a capital for your journey in the crypto journey. Make sure that you set out 50% of that capital out, save it somewhere outside crypto. Like you can save it in USDT, but store it on a separate wallet that you don't need to touch at any given time. All right, and know that you only have just $500, which is 50% for your journey. All right, so which means 50% of your capital is actually saved somewhere, but you only have 50 to start the journey. This is the first risk management you should apply. Most people, let's say most newbies that actually come into the industry, what they actually do is they just get in with money and even want to dive in with that money in one coin. Please, if you have your mic on, please mute it. All right.
Kalau come back.
Zama.
Oh, look it. So that kilo enter can
mic. Zama, please mute your mic.
You can unmute yourself, coach. I've muted the other person. Okay.
All right. I'm still not in the host. Not the host yet. Right. Is it being recorded? You should set out 50% of your total incoming capital as a trust fund. So this means whenever you want to make an investment, you are not going to touch any of that 50%. All right. It's kind of a trust fund for when things are getting critical, that is only the last option that you have. So having 50% for your crypto journey and 50% as what? A trust fund. All right. So you now, let's say you have already set out, you came into the crypto with $1,000, you have set out 500, which is 50%. And you said, okay, you're going to use the remaining 50% for your what? Crypto journey, which is what? $500. So the second one I have here is, don't use more than 10% of your capital for investment on spot. What does that mean for your crypto journey? Now, I'm trying to tell you that don't use more than 10%, more than 10% of that available capital on a single spot investment. This means that, let's say, okay, you have $500, all right? And you know, $500, 10% of $500 is what? $50. Okay, so I'm trying to say that if you want to buy coin on spot, let's say you want to buy BTC, or you want to buy Ethereum, or you want to buy PNB, you should not spend more than $50 of that capital. That's $50, which is 10% of that capital on a single trade. All right. So let's say you decided to, you're the person that has that $1,000 as a capital. You set out $500 as a trust fund and $500 for your crypto journey. Now, don't use more than $50 for a single trade. Why did I say so? Because most times, when you enter a trade, it doesn't really use to favor at that particular time. All right. The trade might take time or even longer than the time that you expected before it can what? Perform as you predicted. All right. But using 50% gives you much, let's say, market power to enter in any more opportunity that will come into the market. All right. So you still have extra 90% to buy more coins. All right. But if you have gone into one, let's say you have that 50% already and you just jump into one coin, or you divide it into two, you might get into a coin when the bear market will just resume. And once the bear market resumes, you will end up being stuck, or being a long-term holder, or having to hold the coin longer than what you expected. The money might even be money that you just easily want to swap, just want to get some quick profit and leave the market. But you now end up holding that coin and holding down the money for most, because you went in at the same time. All right. So that's the second one, which is don't use more than 10% capital. Don't use more than 10% capital for investment on spot. All right. So the next use management is what we call DCA, which actually means dollar cost average. DCA, dollar cost average. And by risk management, I would say that always apply dollar cost average on your investments. Dollar cost average simply means breaking down levels of investment, levels and time of investment. For example, let's say you decide to invest on BNB. All right, decide to invest on BNB, and you said, okay, if you're going to buy BNB and BNB is $300, you say, okay, you will buy one BNB. Now you now say, if BNB gets to $250, you buy extra two more BNB. Then you also now say, if BNB gets to $200, you buy extra what? 4 more what? BNB. Now, once you do this, which is called dollar cost average, it will reduce the cost of that BNB for you. Because the cost of that BNB, the total BNB that you bought, will not be what? $300, which is the first price. Rather, it will reduce, like, if you check your balance, you will see that if you divide your balance by the amount of BNB, you see that the value or the cost of one BNB to you is not what? The highest cost of your what? Investment. So you might check it and it will be like, let's say the cost of one BNB for you is now what? $250 instead of $300, which is the first initial investment that you made. Now that means if BNB should get above $250, you're already in profit. You don't need to wait for BNB to get $300 before you what? Start being what? In profit. This is what we call what? Dollar cost average. And it's very, very important on trading. Like, it's very, very important for investment. Even institutions, big investors, that's what they do. They don't just jump into investment at a time. They use dollar cost average. Most times, this very good. You have to be able to work dollar cost average. When the price break, you are trying to avoid you buy BM. If you buy
But your line is breaking. Your line is breaking. It's still breaking. It's still breaking.
Coach, the network is distorting.
now. Is it okay now?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, it's better.
It's okay, yeah, right.
Better now.
Yeah, I think it's okay now.
I think we can hear you now. Continue, boss.
All right.
It's still breaking. It's still breaking.
Okay. All right. Let's continue from where we stopped. Sorry for the interruption. Network is just really terrible at night. I don't know why. All right. So, like what I'm saying, this year of buying up is not what I'm applying towards risk management. What I'm applying to risk management is the DCA of what going downward. So you buy on different levels of the price. Once the price is what's going down, it helps you what being able to what get stock coin at cheaper price. But if you end up, let's say you decide to buy once, and at the same time you didn't apply that 10%, not more than 10%, you went and buy at the same time, you might end up losing. You find that the token will go down even up to minus 90%, and you end up what losing minus 90%, and which you have to wait for that token to get as high as where you bought before you can what get back the money. But once you apply that DCA, you end up what being able to get that more of that coin at what cheaper what price. And you can only able to do DCA when you're not using more than 10% of your what capital. All right, so that's when you'll be able to what have extra funds to what apply what this year. Now, if you're someone that always like to buy different coins, that means that 10% is what you need to divide in different levels. Let's say instead of investing that 10%, no more than that 10% on a coin, this is not that you're going to buy more coins. You just have to what divide that 10% in different levels. They're going to what invest on that coin. Instead of investing 10% at a time.
Cut down your hand off.
I hope you guys understood.
Olumighty. Mute.
All right. So the next one we have here is don't have more than 50% capital on an investment.
Somebody should mute himself. I can hear some voice from the background. And the class is not moving smoothly.
Is Olumighty.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me mute.
Can you mute?
Good. All right, so let's continue. The next one I have here is don't have more than 50% capital on investment. So what I'm talking about is don't put in more than 50%. Don't have 50% total at a time on investments. All right. So which means a single investment should not have more than 50% of your capital on a single investment. Like not that, let's say overall, let's say you have done your DC and everything. One asset should not have more than what 50% of your capital. Because it puts your financial stability at risk. All right. Because if you have more than 50% on a single asset, and that asset will end up crashing, or let's say rug pulled. You guys can witness what happened to Nona. If you guys are already experienced or know about what happened to Nona, that was a few months ago. Nona is a very strong, credible project, but Nona lose more than 99% of what the value. Nona went from $90 to 0.00. See that? So imagine someone that trusted Nona so much that he has even up to 50% of his capital on Nona. What does that mean? He has lost 50% of his investments. Just boom. Let's say the person has over $500,000 on that coin. He was like, I actually worth up to $500,000 right now. And the next day he'll be like, I don't even worth up to $1,000 right now. This is exactly what it means when you put 50% capital on a single asset. So make sure you really avoid this mistake. Yeah, nobody's above mistake. Even someone that is teaching you can also make a mistake that is trying to correct you. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't correct yourself. All right. So make sure you try to apply it, because that's the only way you help you. That's the only way you will assist your growth. Because that the person that is teaching you doesn't apply it, doesn't mean that you shouldn't apply it. For example, now you might see someone posting a result, let's say a future result, and you will see huge leverage. But the same person is telling you not to use huge leverage. Yes, the person is trying to impart you. He has told you what you have to do. Now it's not left for you to decide what you have to do and bear the risk of whatever what you want to do. All right. So make sure you apply this if you really need to be stable in the market. Because if you do not apply them, your hands will be shaken in the market. Whenever there is a little shake in the market, boom, fear will just set in. For example, okay, imagine that you have 50% investment, or let's say you have 100% of your capital invested in crypto, and crypto starts to stumble. Like crypto, you can see BTC fall from 69,000 to 18,000. Now imagine if you have 100% of your investments on crypto, you should know that you can be losing up to 99% of that your capital, because if BTC is falling by 1%, ours are falling by 10%, or ours are falling by 5%. So if BTC should be losing up to 50% of its value, that means you that invested on art and you put all your money, you lose up to 90% of your value. Do you understand that? So make sure that you try to save USDT. That you have USDT doesn't mean that you should find where to invest it. No, you should only invest it at a realist opportunity. For example, when there is a dump, another dump, the market is trying to recover. This is now when you need to bring out those funds and look for where to invest them. Not all of them, but some of them, and look for where to invest them. Keep them for those opportunities that are always rare. The opportunities that always come just once or twice in a year. So you should keep those funds and carefully wait for it. There will always be a dump in the market. Always. Markets will never be going up. Those who are pumping the market, you always want to dump it in order to buy it at a cheaper value. So you should always save your funds, enough funds, and wait for that opportunity. That you're seeing coins are going up 100% a day. The next day, you see coins are from 200%. Doesn't mean that you should go and bring out that fund and look for where to put it. No, you should put it after a dump as occur. A serious one, so not that BTC dump by 5%. That one is not a dump one. I have witnessed BTC dump minus 30% BTC in a single day. drop minus 30%. That day, after you are like minus 60, minus 70%. This happened last year. Yes, last year. Now imagine just in a single day, someone that was mining that he has over 100K 100K worth of investment is now saying that he doesn't even have up to 10K worth of investments. So this is always why you should save funds. And imagine people will not have to buy what at cheaper value. And at the slightest move in the market, they're already in profits. So this is why you should, try to invest minimal, apply dollar cost average, use less percentage of investment, and wait for the realest opportunity to come before you make an investment. So the next one we have here is invest on a number of tokens you can always study. Yes. Invest on a number of tokens you can always study. Now, most of students that we have, all they just want to do is just sit around and wait for calls. Buy this, you buy this. They don't know what they're buying. They don't know why they should buy it. They don't know the fundamentals surrounding it. They don't know the chemical analysis surrounding it. They just buy. Yes, we are following our step. We are not letting them to buy it. But what I'm trying to say is, buy coins. The number of coins you can be able to research on. You see someone having over 100 portfolios, different assets, but he doesn't know the whereabouts of that asset. He doesn't even know that if the asset has future. All right. So what I mean is now is, if you're going to buy, if you know that you can be able to keep up studying 5 assets, only buy 5 assets. If you want to buy extra one more, you should be able to have ability to keep up studying them, reading their newsletters, knowing information surrounding them, knowing when to leave that project, and knowing how long to keep holding the project. You can buy a project with the hope of holding it for 1 year, but because you are reading, you keep reading about the project, and you find out the project doesn't have a future. What will you do? You sell off the project. But if you are not reading about the project all the time, what will happen? You will be shouting, I'm a holder, I'm a holder, I'm a long-term holder, I'm a long-term holder, and you will end up holding that coin, and the coin will just be diminishing in price. So you should only buy the number of tokens you can always keep up studying yourself. So let's say in a signal room, you can be given 10 coins to buy. It doesn't mean that you should buy the whole of that 10 coins. What we mean is that, all right, look at the coins that we see that has good opportunities. Pick out the ones that you like, that you find interesting based on the knowledge you have, or based on the knowledge you have already learned. Pick out, let's say 5 or any amount you can keep up, and you're financially okay to invest and buy. Now, always keep up on it. Keep studying them. Keep checking out news. You can also even be a support of information concerning that token. All right. We might give you the coin, but we might not be able to keep up on information surrounding the whole of the coin. But with you, always knowing that you actually have an investment on that asset, you need to know what is happening on that asset. What are those people doing? Are they really developing? Are they even really? Do they really have a future? You might end up, maybe at the time when you are studying, you find out that what people say it's like they are not going to have a bright future. You share the news. Now, when you share the news, more experts will study it, analyze it, and give you a good feedback that should determine the future of the coin. So always make sure you invest on a number of tokens that you can study. If it's only one token, you can manage the follow-up. Invest on only one token. If it's 10 tokens, you can manage to always follow up. Invest on 10 tokens. All right. Okay. So the next one we have here is save a particular percentage of profits made, never to be used, touched, and should be seen as a retirement fund. All right. This is what I mean. So people are making profits and are investing back the whole of that profit. Now, what I mean is, what I actually mean by saving a percentage of your profits in form of a retirement fund is this. You might not always be a trader the whole of your life, all right? And you might also wish to have a business or something that you need to open in the future. And the best way to do this is by saving a percentage of your profit out of crypto market. Let's say you decide that, okay, I'll be keeping out 5% of every profit I make in crypto market out of my retirement fund. This means if you make $5, you save what? 5%. If you make $100, you save what? 5%. This savings is different from any other savings you should be saving on your profit. This one can never be touched. It can never be used for as an investment. It's only be used for critical issues. Let's say, anything can just come up. Issues, medical issues, old age, retirement, and stuff like that. You know that you have funds that you have been saving all your life that will assist you on what critical moment. So always save a particular percentage. So after tonight's class, decide by yourself how much percentage will I be saving at a retirement fund. If it's 10%, if it's 1%, let it be 1%. So every profit that you grab, you save 1%. And know that you're not going to touch that money. Even if you're hungry, you cannot touch the money. If I can advise you can make a research on the way that you can lock up the fund for a particular period of time, that you cannot even have access to it till that particular period of time. All right. So the next one we have here is okay, this one now is concerning future traders, all right, because this is another thing that we're going to talk about. That will be by tomorrow. I will explain about Binance future platform. I'll use Binance for example. We will explain what everything that you see there, what the terms means and how to use them and utilize them. And after that, we now went to my own form of technical analysis. So I think tonight we actually basically focus on risk management because it should be a 1 hour class and we are actually running out of time. All right, so on future trading, this is number 6. Never have more than 10% of your total running trade. What I mean is this. Okay, on your future trade, you have, let's say, 3 trades running. I mean that the total of that 3 trades should not pass 10% of your future capital. You have funded your future. Let's say you funded your future with $100. And you have 3 positions.
Can you repeat this again? I didn't get that, please.
Okay, I said on future trade, never have more than 10% of your total. No, sorry. On future trade, never have 10% total on your running trade. On your future trade, never have a total of 10%, more than 10% on your running trades. You get that?
Is it in a particular trade?
No, the total of your running trades, should not be more than 10%.
Wow.
So let's say you have 3 positions.
10% of volume.
Yes, total volume of your trade, running trade.
Should not be more than 10%.
Active trade. Yes. Let's say you have 3 trades on your future. The total of that 3 trades should not pass 10%
of your total.
So it can be 3%. Yeah, it can be 3% per trade, 3% per trade. Do you understand? You should not exceed 10%. Why this? Why this is because when the market is manipulated, all right, and it goes against you, it should not really affect deep on your capital. Anything can happen in the market. You might be a very good trader with very good skills, all right? But if you not manage your risk, your whole profit can be taken at a single slightest time. Market can be manipulated, boom. And know that in crypto market can be manipulated and still go back to what you predicted. And by that time, it has already taken out your fund. And it might have already dipped so hard if you did not use these skills I'm giving you guys tonight. All right. So In a situation where you don't have more than 10% of your capital on the running trade, it means that no matter what, you can't lose more than 10% of your what? Your capital. So it means you are not putting more than what 10% of your capital on risk because you don't have more than that what on investment. Understood?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. So on the same feature too, never use more than 3% on a single trade, rather 1 to 3% on what? On a single trade. So what does that mean? Each trade that you want to open should not exceed more than 3%. Each trade you want to open should not exceed what? More than 3% of your what? Capital on future. You can also apply that on what? On spot too. All right. So I specify future so that because future is very risky. So you need to know that it needs to be strictly applied. So investment on a single trade can be from 0% to what? 3% on a single trade. All right. So you don't need to go aggressively on a single trade. So I think if it's a single trade that is being manipulated, you can't lose more than 3% what to a single trade. And other trades can be what? Profitable, which will also help you what? To recover what? Any loss to a single trade. You can have let's say 3 positions now. And 1 loss and 2 win. Now you know that 2 that won is what? Can easily what? Recover that 1 that lose. But when you're not using percentage, let me tell you, using percentage figures on your investment is very, very necessary. Because if you're using different percentage, let's say you use 10% an open position and you lost. Then you now use 3% and open and you win. Do you know that you're still losing what? 7%? Let's say you now open another 3% again and you win. They are still at loss. Because you're using what? Different what? Figures. But when you use a street figure, let's say you say, okay, you are only going to be using what? $10 per trade. Now, let's say you lose that $10 and you trade again and double that $10. That means you have already what? Recovered that lost what? $10. So you need to use what? Street percentage figures on your trades. And I hope you guys are writing this down because it's really going to help in the long run. All right, the next one we have here is always remember to accept loss at minimum. Most people will be like, let me just hold this trade. It's going to go back. It's going to go back. Stubbornness, emotions. When the emotion sets in, you'll be like, if I close this trade now, it will still go back to where to profit. Let me just hold. Instead of you to accept your loss, where stop loss have been set, you decide not to accept the loss and wait for liquidation. Now, you will not end up what? Getting liquidated. No, it can favor you sometimes, but the unfavorable times are what? Deadly. The unfavorable times are what? Deadly. So you better what? Count your losses. So for example, you want to open a position and you decide, okay, you use $10 to open, but your stop loss is $3. Now, if you set that stop loss at $3, it means that you're running a position with $10, but you're not risking more than $3. And keeping you what? More safer. That, okay, even if your stop loss is being hit, you can still recover it. You can easily recover it. You can even open a position and end up having what? 100%. Which means you recovered it and will have extra more what? Profit. Let me give you an example with figures. Let's say you open a position with $10, all right? And you put your stop loss at 30%, which is what? $3. Now, at this position, you're not actually risking $3. Rather, you're not actually risking $10. Rather, you're risking what? $3 which is what you'll be taking once your stop loss is what? Is hit. Do you understand? Now, let's say at this position, your stop loss was hit. Now you have accepted this loss based on what? Risk management. You decide, okay, 3% is what you're able to set as stop loss. Now, this trade has what? hits SL and you lost that trade. Now you open another trade and you set stop loss at what? 3%, 30%, which is what? $3. You don't want to also lose $3 on this trade. Now, and this trade now go for variable and give you what? 50% profits, which is what? $5. What does that mean? You have been able to recover the one that hits stop loss and also what? Have profits.
$2.
You see that? Without even having to have 100% of that trade though. Because you use what? Stop loss. So you just need just a little profit on the trade to what? To recover what? That one that you lost to stop loss. But when you're not accepting loss and the trade went to 100% and liquidate. Now, if you want to make profit, if you want to recover that trade, you need the trade to reach 100% before you can recover that lost trade. And which can be hard to get. And when you are trying to get 100%, you might end up losing the profit that you have already gained. So make sure you always apply your stop loss. Now, an example is okay. Let's say this second position that you open now, all right? The stop loss also hits. That means you have lost a total of what? $6. All right? So $6 loss. Now you see another opportunity and you went in with $10. And you set your stop loss at 30%, which is what? $3. The third position, you say you cannot lose more than what? $3 to that trade. Now, that trade now pump and give you like 100%, which is what? Extra what? $10. Now, if you minus your loss, which is $6 from $10, what does that mean? You had extra what? $4 what? Profit. You have now recovered 2 losing trades. And also what? Have what? Profit. Do you see that? Now imagine that the 2 losing trades were actually what? Liquidation, which is you lost them 100%, no stop loss. You know that it will take a very long profit or profitable trade for you to be able to what? Recover that loss before you can even what? See what? Profit. So always learn to what? Accept your loss by using what? Stop loss. So otherwise, always use what? Stop loss. Most people will open position without stop loss. You just open and be like, it will go up, it will go up, yeah, it will go up. You see the market going down, you keep saying it will go up, it will go up. At the end, you see what? Liquidation. Now, when it comes to future, that's what we call isolated margin. All right? Hold on, let me check something. Okay, in future, that's what we call isolated margin and cross margin.
Sir, the line is breaking again. I can't hear you.
Your voice is breaking, sir. We can't hear you.
It's the network.
Is it okay now? Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's clear now.
Yeah.
All right. So in future, that's what we call isolated margin and cross margin. All right. And this will be explained tomorrow. All right. But I just want to use it for an example. When you're not using stop loss. An isolated margin is only a trade. It's only the amount that you should buy that you are risking. All right. So your liquidation is just that money that you put. But on the cross margin, the trade will keep going lost. And until all the whole money you have on your future account is what? Exhausted. When you don't have what? Stop loss. So imagine someone that thinks, okay, that he has enough money to hold that trade. Boom. And the trade keep going down, keep going down, keep going down. And to take the whole, 100% of the whole capital you have. So I will also shoot on this cross margin and isolated margin tomorrow. It's part of what we're going to learn on our finance future. So why I just talk about this is because of stop loss. People that don't use stop loss, make sure you use stop loss. All right? Because sometimes when you don't use stop loss, based on the margin that you are using, you might be risking the whole of your capital, 100% of it. And we are going to learn that one tomorrow. All right, the next one we have here is using low leverage. All right, you guys are going to learn about leverage. It's also among the terms we're going to learn tomorrow. Leverage is kind of a loan in the crypto market, which you use on future. All right, so using less of it is what I'm talking about. Just to remind me, someone, please always make sure you remind me tomorrow to talk about this using low leverage tomorrow. The time, anytime I will talk about leverage on our training tomorrow. All right. So using low leverage is using less risk, borrowing less money. All right. Because the higher money you borrow, the quicker you can make loss. For example, let's say you borrow $100. All right, and that $100 is losing 10%. You know you're losing big money. You're losing what? $10. But if you borrow $10 and that $10 is losing 10%, you're losing just $1. All right, so it's not actually like this, but technically it's like this. And now I'm going to explain what deeper tomorrow. All right, so always make sure you use less leverage on your trade. Borrow less money, less margin, less leverage. Let's say you want to participate on margin trading. Borrow less. Don't try to use times 20, times 50, times 30. It gets you into loss quicker. But once you use less leverage, it gets you into loss slower and help you manage your emotion. Okay, imagine that you use times 30 and boom, you're seeing minus 20% on your trade. The emotion will be kicked in, your psychological emotion will kick in, and you end up closing that trade without having to hit the stop loss. Now, when you use a high leverage on your trade on future, the stop loss that's supposed to be 10% might be 50% on your trade. The stop loss level, let's say the teacher gave you, was supposed to be 10%. But because of the leverage you are using, it will now become 50%. That's the effect of high leverage, and you will understand more tomorrow. All right, the last but not the least, more might come tomorrow. These are just the list I was able to make down today, and tomorrow more lists might come up. All right, but tomorrow specifically is about the platform. So the last but not the least, the list is use isolated margin. All right, I will explain this tomorrow because I want to explain this when we are having access to the platform, but it's part of the risk management you should know about. Like I said, isolated is only risking the amount you invested, while cross margin is risking the total investment, the total capital, even the ones that you have not invested, but you funded it on your future account. They are putting them at risk. So using isolated means at least you're only risking what you invested and not what you don't invest. All right. But when you use cross, you are risking everything, even when you don't invest it. So it's best advised to use isolated. I have a friend. He's not in RCA. All right. These are people that we grow up we have been investing. And he actually used to trade on future. He trained himself on YouTube. Yeah, he's not a part of RCA, but he was using cross margin and was posting results. When he has the position, the trade will be at loss. You saw money says it's on loss, but you sure it's getting profit. And at the end, the trade will come back to profit and he'll be rejoicing. I called him as a friend. I told him, I might not be a financial advisor to you, but I will advise you to stop using cross. You might be smiling every day, but all this profit that you are gathering will vanish in a single day. He bashed me. He was like, I don't know what I'm saying. That is people that doesn't know how to trade will be saying against cross margin. I told him, stop using cross margin. That you might be making profits now. Yes, let's say your trade was in loss, and you keep holding it because you're in cost margin, you're not using stop loss, boom, the market reverse and give you profits and you close. And you think you're a smart trader. So I keep advising you, and it seems like I was just doing busybody. So I stopped. And at last, there was that BTC dropped by 15%. That was this year too. He came back crying that that you can never trade future again. That future has taken all his money. And I asked him, did you let us stop using cross? He said no. I said, that's it. You are risking all your capital at a time, no stop loss, and you think you're a smart trader because you're always making profit. Now all the money just vanish in a single trade, and it's a single time. That's the high risk of using cross margin. So make sure you're using isolated all the time. On your Binance account, automatically, all the coins there on your future account are cross. They automatically set at cross. All right. So make sure you reset them to isolated margin. Because Binance are evil. They want you to be risking all your money at the same time. All right. So make sure you change them to isolated. I will explain more on isolated and cross margin when we start talking about the platform tomorrow. All right, guys. I think this is where we are going to call closure. And you said?
I have a question, sir.
All right. Come up with your question.
All right. My name is Victor. So you about the cross and the isolated, although we're not there yet, but you said if we're using cross, it's possible to put all our money on futures. So my question is,
it's not possible. You are actually risking all your money. Not possible. You understand?
Yeah. So let me say, for instance, I have an open trade and it's on cross. Then let's say I use 5% of my future account to open the trade. Then I have another 5% to place an order that's not triggered.
Okay.
That first trade that is running went wrong. Will it cancel my trade? Will it cancel my order and use it to prepare the running one? I don't know if you get my question.
Okay. When you have a standing order, like a pending order, all right. You know, when you actually place an order, a money is taken out, all right. So that money is taken out is not part of any other trade. Do you understand? For example, let's say you have a trade that is isolated. I also have a trade that is on cross, all right. That cross trade will not actually affect that isolated trade, because that isolated trade has isolated itself out of the trade. Do you understand? Out of other capital, out of other trade, it has isolated itself out of it. So nothing will affect it. Even your pending order, when you have a pending order, that money has been taken out from your capital. So whatever happened to the cross trade, it will not affect that pending order because that money is not available for trade. Do you understand?
All right, sir. I understand, sir.
All right. Any other person with a question?
You.
Any other person with question? All right. Since there is no question, I'm very excited that we are able to keep up with time. You know, our time is 1 hour from 8 to 9. Although, let me tell you, sometimes our class is going to exceed 9, all right? Especially when we are on our technical analysis, because if you are on a particular pattern, we must finish it before we can close. So most times our time can run more than 9, all right? But for tonight, for normal class, it's actually 1 hour. So I'm glad that we are able to finish the list of risk management that we have. And I hope that you guys are going to apply this in able to achieve great success on the blockchain technology. You guys have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you, both. Really appreciate it. Good night.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you. We appreciate.